Good afternoon, everyone. We have with us today Kautilya Basumatary, an expert in livelihoods and sustainable development models in the context of Eastern Himalaya. Thank you for being with us here. So, we have a couple of questions here for you. In the context of the Eastern Himalaya, how can we align sustainable development practices with local livelihoods to ensure long term community resilience?
Thank you, Dipankar. Firstly, thank you for inviting me to this event. I have been attending the Eastern Himalaya Nature Mix Forum for quite a long time now. In fact, I think this is my third time. And every time, I learn something new. I mean, every year it is getting better. And I think this is quite a unique platform that is being provided, especially to this part of the country, where it is not only acting as a platform for bringing together the leaders, the think tanks, but also giving a voice to the community. And when you talk about sustainable development, especially in the Eastern Himalayas, I think with the current context of climate change, it is high time that we start addressing it, taking proactive steps in the ground, and keeping the community at the center. Right, so because community is the primary stakeholder, and there are certain practices that we are actually starting on the ground, and we are starting small, but the idea is to first make the community aware, bring them together, and then take larger steps in the long run. So what Balipara Foundation and this forum is doing is that firstly it is helping by bringing those leaders together, starting a dialogue, because also to also to understand it is that there is still a lack of awareness and capacity building among the communities, and forums like this are an excellent platform where you are getting leaders from the grassroots. They are expressing their views, as well as we are also learning, because for any intervention you would agree that we have to listen first and then kind of come up with solutions for that. Maybe I'll give you just a small example for sustainability. So one thing is that we are looking at land intensification, okay, because especially in the forest fringe areas there is always this forest degradation that is taking place, because people have been depending on extracting of forest resources, let's say timber, for their livelihoods. And traditionally also we have not been able to explore much of the homestead gardens, right? If you look into areas near Kamrup, for example, Boko area, where tribal households are there, traditionally these areca trees have been there, but not much of an income, right? Once in a year, whatever they are contracted out. But what we have tried to do is that we have now kind of intensified the same land area with intercropping, going into spices, pineapple and Assam lemon, right? And pineapple is the companion, it is taking the support of the areca nut plants, and you are getting the idea, right? And the inter-row spaces we are planting pineapples and Assam lemon. Now from the same land unit area, their incomes are increasing, right? And once the community understands that, the first thing is happening is that they have also started their dependency on the forest to a larger extent, right? So that is one way in which we are trying to kind of prevent the forest degradation from further happening, land expansions going into place. And secondly also is that once they understand that okay, there are diversified uses, now the community themselves have shown interest in livestock rearing, right? So that is where it starts. This is one small step towards sustainability, as well as irrigation and water is a huge challenge. So what we have also tried to do is that sit with the community, understand from them what are the irrigation ways in which we can address it, right? That's why we have come up with water conservation, pits that we have dug in the villages, and then we have also kind of come up with mulching. Now you'll I was also very surprised that the banana which grows abundantly, the banana stems, they can be actually used as mulching sources, preventing the loss of water. So that is some of the ways in which we are aligning those sustainability. And my request would be that to the forum would be that please continue the good efforts, maybe bring those leaders also into the forum in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Kautilya speaks about how we can leverage land in agroforestry practices and how we can sustain it as well and coexist, kind of bring coexistence to us. Our second question to you would be, how do education and crafts contribute to sustainable development in the Eastern Himalaya, and what role can they play in enhancing livelihoods and community empowerment? We've talked about agriculture, but we also have other part of our beautiful crafts. Yeah, so if you can share some light on.
Thank you, Dipankar. I think after livelihoods, like agriculture, you have brought up the two other crucial components. One is the education, and another is the craft. I'll just start with maybe education. Education is very important because we have to create that awareness among the new generations, which the forum is doing. I mean, when I was outside seeing the young students engaging with the experts and people from the ground who are associated with conservation, it is giving us a ray of hope, right? And what we are also trying to do or doing on the ground is that we are working with the school children, not directly teaching them about conservation, but also ensuring that how the students who are dropping out, they are retained in the schools, right? So that's we are trying to capture those target which are either dropouts or struggling with their learning levels. Now, how does it impact is that once they are into that system, the education system also brings in components of conservation now, right? So having the students within the schools, having their education completed, getting them exposed to this kind of scenarios are going to do wonders, like molding the young minds. Maybe in the long run, we can bring those students from the backward areas also, get them exposed, because you never know, Dipankar, you will get a hero right from the village level. Well, they have been doing something, right? And that would give us a model that we might replicate in the coming days. And secondly is that craft. Of course, Eastern Himalaya is quite unique. Our craft is known all over the world. Every state that you go in this region has got their own unique culture, and which is reflected in the craft. So craft can definitely play a huge role in the sustainability component, because one is that through the craft we can express what is the uniqueness of the region, right? Those craft are speaking volumes of itself. Our artisans, if we work close with them, maybe they can generate awareness in their motifs and designs of what is the need of the hour, right? And secondly is that what we have also done is that diversification of the products, right? The motifs, the designs are quite in demand both in national and international markets, making to many of the fashion shows, in fact. And once we are able to handhold these communities, help them what the current market demand is, and help them give a brand, market their produce, diversify it into products that are more in demand in the market, it's gonna do wonders. But while doing that, we would definitely we should all sit together and try to understand that how, when the motifs are being designed, a certain segment should also kind of reflect what is the story of this region, especially in terms of the eco-conservation efforts that are being taken place. Like it can be a motif that is reflecting what is how the area looks in this kind of parts of the country, and that is, I think, that is going to create not only business for the communities as such, but to a larger level of awareness. Yeah, thank you.
So it's a win-win for everyone. Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, Kautilya. That will be all from our end in the media corner today, and we are honored to have you here. Thank you so much.